starting your journey to financial freedom. Now. You're listening to the New Investor Podcast.
This is the Young Investor for the New Investor Podcast, and it is day 110 on our journey towards financial freedom. I can start sensing all around that the markets are becoming slightly nervous as we are approaching the earnings season. All the analysts are now throwing around expectations, predictions, thoughts on how everyone will perform above or below expectations. The US-China trade tensions has affected everyone well into the quarter, and despite everyone's effort, I am certain we will feel the impact on the markets. As of the second week of July, multiple companies will release their earnings. I usually like to follow this closely, listen to some companies' earnings call to develop my understanding at each occasion that I get. So I also invite you to do the same. Maybe you can start by picking one company you actually identify yourself with, use their products or services on a daily basis or often. Search online for the date they will release their quarterly earnings. Go to that company's website, access the investors relations section, download the transcripts of the last earning call and read it. Even if you don't understand, or if you understand 50% or 20% of it, just read it from end to end. After that, listen to the actual call referring to the transcript. You can easily access and listen to all earnings call. This is public information, as these are all listed companies as well. So I would suggest you to highlight all terms you don't understand, all terms that seem difficult for you, and after having read and listened to the earnings call, I will then invite you to research those terms online to get acquainted. Once this is done and you elevated your understanding by, let's say, 20%, listen to the call again, and you'll be surprised by your ability to understand terms you thought were alien to you by just researching them and putting them back into context. And this is an exercise that I would do myself regularly as well. So now you do not need to know everything. You don't need to know it all. You do not need to understand each and every terms. That's not the objective. However, gaining a general understanding and getting in touch with that business as much as possible will determine if it is a company that fits your own values through the voice of their management. Now is particularly a good time, as you will be able to see how they maneuvered through the latest headlines and how it affected their business. One of the reasons you would invest in a company is how strong its management is. Research the CEO and senior executive, listen to their interviews, basically be curious about the people running the organization itself as well, and be sure that you're familiar with their product or services, that to the point that you actually make use of them in your own life as well. So personally, I have also invested in bank stocks, which I am not a client of, but my decisions were based on other aspects such as management, quality, and their ability to have steered out of a major crisis and how they managed to do it. And I also will consider their unlikeliness to bankrupt in the foreseeable future, or if they did, would ignite a major crisis that the US government will not let happen. So they are safe. They may not have the capital growth potential than a technology stock may have, but they will do well in the long term, that's for sure. 51% of my capital is in Apple. I wished I could buy more at the time I made that purchase, as the stock price was undervalued at that time, but I did not have enough cash, unfortunately. What I am particularly excited about with this company is how they will steer away from the iPhone and friction technology in the future. They are capable of disrupting any industry if they decide that such is part of their growth strategy. And I like that a lot in a company. Amazon is one of them, but I only invest in dividend stocks, so I will pass on Amazon, but I admire them. They're a great company, great CEO. There's absolutely nothing to say there. They are disrupting your life as we speak, and I am sure you're using their services on a daily basis. But Microsoft is another one. This company is a smooth operator. You will not see them coming, but they are very much on the ball and ahead of the curve. They are the most valuable company on earth, and you probably expected Apple or Amazon to retain that status like that. They are smooth like that. I am an investor in Microsoft. If I had more cash at the time, I would have certainly tripled my investment in that company, but I had to make a choice between them and Apple, and I did make my choice. So let's see what happens this month, and everyone earnings as well. I stand ready with some cash, and I will be ready to invest if the price is good enough, of course. I wish you all a perfect day ahead. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and I really hope that it brings you some additional support on your own journey towards financial freedom. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to never miss an episode, and looking forward to your DM and follow on Instagram at New Investor Podcast. In the meantime, stay invested, be patient, and keep playing the long-term game.